Welcome back, nerds. You got two nerds, one podcast starting right now. As always, you got Justin from eNerdtainment joining me. He's over here. Is AJ from Nerds Doing Nerd Things. What's going on, AJ?
Not much. Just finished Revenge of the Sith today, and it was a chore to get through a good portion of the second one, but we'll talk about
We'll get
that.
there.
Other than that, I'm all lightsabered up, baby. I got it. I'm ready.
He's ready. He's ready to
Shouldn't
go.
be touching that. That's hot.
So obviously, spoiler alert, if the lightsaber didn't give it away, if the thumbnail didn't give it away, if the background doesn't give it away, today we're talking about Star Wars, more specifically the prequel trilogy. We're going to go trilogy by trilogy and have just kind of a general discussion, debate, have some fun, geek out, nerd out a little bit. So let's get started. Again, I want to talk about just the movies in general. How do you feel about each movie? I'll let you go first.
So the first movie I actually liked, Phantom Menace. It's the upbringing of Anakin Skywalker into the Jedi Order. One thing I did not like was, hey, let's talk about how the Force is the Force, and let's bring up midichlorians. What the hell are midichlorians? Well, George is going to tell us. And basically, they added that. I thought that was kind of stupid. It's like blood type, apparently. You can use the Force because you have this kind of blood type.
I don't think people like that they made it tangible. You know, it's literally a tangible thing that you can see, you can read whether somebody's Force sensitive and how strong they are in the Force. So I don't think people liked that at all. That was a miss.
Other than that, the first movie, fun. Darth Maul, really upset they killed Qui-Gon. I get it. He had to die. Really upset that they killed Qui-Gon. The second movie sucks.
Concise.
Attack of the Clones.
Concise. I like it.
Sucks.
It's a train wreck.
The writing in Attack of the Clones sucks.
Again,
there are some pretty good lightsaber battles in it. It's about it. Done. You get Christopher Lee. I feel like he's wasted in such a good movie. Good movie. He is very good in the movie.
It's a great role for him. He kills it. What a shit.
Oh yeah, and I also love how they took his saber into a fencing saber.
I love it,
and the way he does, the whoosh.
It's my favorite saber, 100%. If I had one mounted on my wall, it would be Dooku's hilt, 100%. Even above Vader, even above Luke. I think his hilt.
They wasted Christopher Lee.
Yeah, what a travesty that was. Almost as bad as DC wasted Henry Cavill.
Oh,
that's another discussion altogether.
Talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Yes.
But no, I feel like they wanted to do so much in that second movie that they basically did nothing.
Yeah.
The writing was horrible. They're like, here, now they're here, now they're here, now they're here. And they're like, hi, how are you? I am good.
I don't like sand. It's dry.
Yeah, basically.
It gets everywhere.
It's like a 3-year-old trying to write. But then you get Revenge of the Sith. And this is very, very high on my list of movies because I grew up with the prequels. I did see 4, 5, and 6 first. VHS tapes, everybody. If you don't know what those are, you were too young. But I actually really loved Revenge of the Sith because then you really start to get into the meat and potatoes of the fall of Anakin and, the rise of the Galactic Empire and how the Senate falls and how the Jedis fall. And man, is Ian McDiarmid really good at playing a bad guy?
I mean, the dude was so convincing that I'll be honest with you, as a kid, I forgot that he was Sidious. Like I remember knowing that, and then completely spaced on it. So when I found out, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, wow. But yeah.
I find it funny that he's playing a chess game against himself.
Yeah, essentially. And he wins both games somehow. I don't know. It was brilliant. His plan was brilliant. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
really
that's
appreciated.
kind
It's
of,
funny you brought that up. I really appreciated it on this viewing.
yeah. And now that now that I know, now that I'm really into Star Wars now, you can hear how Sidious and Palpatine aren't too far apart voice wise.
No,
One is down here, one is down here.
yeah, it's not too different, and obviously he doesn't go too far to like conceal his appearance. Yeah,
No,
my apprentice will be there soon.
he will take care of you. No shit, he's gonna really take care of you.
Oh, our trade route, our blockade is very legal.
Legal. Reminds me of South Park. I wouldn't
Oh
be
yeah,
surprised
bro.
if
My goodness,
like the voices.
there's
Sounds like
some
Trey Parker and Matt Smith.
there's some undertones there, that's for sure. The Gungans and of course the Trade Federation, the evil Trade Federation. Oh, chop suey. You know, there's definitely they talk just like that. I'm like, it's so funny.
Let's not talk about the Gungans though.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to. We're talking the prequels. It's
Freaking Jar Jar.
we can't.
Every time Jar Jar showed up on screen, I was like, mute.
Are we not going to talk about the Ewoks when we get there?
Yeah, but I actually like the Ewoks better than Jar Jar.
You do. Not everybody does.
Really?
No, I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. I'll be honest with you. I'm not offended by Jar Jar. I think he's a silly fucking character, but
Well,
he doesn't offend me. But I'm not the person that's offended by that character, and I realize that he is a caricature. And to some folks, it's deeply offensive to have a person walk around okie dokie, you know, and do stupid. So I get that, but to me, I don't give a shit. And I think the Ewoks are cute little stuffed animals, and I like how they help, you know, foil the bad guys. I don't mind that at all.
So my issue with Jar Jar, since we're getting into it, is you have everybody else around him trying to progress the story, and I feel like every time Jar Jar does something, he stops it in its place.
That's pretty much his job in the story, is to either deliver exposition or deliver our heroes where they need to be, or stop the fucking story in its tracks. He is the plot progressor or the human speed bump. That's what he does through the entire
We talk about
movie.
Christopher Lee, freaking went Saruman.
Yeah. Again, you could have a whole conversation about people that were wasted, but I would have made him the focal point of most of the movies until the Sidious reveal. You know, he's so great. And I also think that another thing that I would change about the trilogy, and obviously I'm not going to get into a lot of details about my feelings. They're not unlike yours. Surprise, surprise. I think most fans have grown to appreciate the prequels, especially the first one. The first one used to get
I liked them a lot more than I did
the first
originally.
one used to get unfairly shit on. I think most folks will admit it's a good time. It's a good time. The second one is, spoiler alert, last on my list. Not almost last. It's my least favorite Star Wars movie. So that's just my opinion on the matter. And the third one is my favorite, spoiler alert, Star Wars movie. So my least favorite and my favorite Star Wars movie of all time are in the prequel trilogy. And it's probably because they are the ones that I saw first. I did see these first. I wasn't a Star Wars fan growing up. So,
see, I wasn't either, but I saw 4, 5, and 6. And then I was like, why did they start with 4? We're 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. I mean, you can't avoid it growing up in the 90s. So I saw bits. I knew that Vader was Luke's father. I knew all that stuff. So when they were like, hey, we're going back and we're telling the story of Darth Vader, I was like, well, that seems interesting, because he was the only cool part of the, you know, for me as a kid, he seemed like the coolest part of all of it. So I was intrigued. I was in, and I remember just absolutely loving the third one the first time I watched it. And I just watched it again yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, oh my God, from the very beginning, I like how they had to cram so much into this movie because they took so damn long to get there, that the movie's certainly rushed, but it means it's also action-packed, and there's really no wasted moments in episode 3 because they don't have time to. They waited until episode 3 to really start his progression. I don't consider him killing the Sand People inherently evil. I think that that's just human. Him reacting.
Revenge is a human thought process.
So let's transition into a question I have for you. Again, obviously, one of the main plots of the movies is the Republic. The other one is Darth Vader, Anakin turning into Darth Vader. How do you feel like it was executed? Did they do it well? Because again, my personal opinion, I think they waited way too long to
Mhm.
really start it. I don't think that Tusken Raider incident was enough because it's a huge freaking leap to go from that to murdering younglings in cold blood that you were a part of, helping train. So it's just, it was a bit of a stretch for me, his turn. But how do you feel about it?
So basically, my thought process is he needed to really start his turn at the end of the second movie, not
Yeah.
halfway through
You're
the
talking
third
like a
movie.
grave act, something serious like killing
So,
younglings, something really bad.
that's where I would have put Attack of the Clones, the Order 66,
Yeah.
at the end of Clone Wars.
And that's not a bad idea, man, because then you have the entire third movie to follow his descent into madness.
Yep. Execute Order 66. The Jedi are dead. Movie over.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
that's that's
by the
fine.
way, Revenge of the Sith comes out next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good idea.
I
Because
have them every now and then. Just don't tell my wife.
well, I mean, but because you're a fan and you've probably had a lot of time to think about it, as have I.
I've thought about this for I don't know how long because I don't hate the trilogies.
No.
I don't. I really like them outside of two. Uh, I have fun with them,
Yeah.
and all I get from Anakin in the second movie is bitchy teenager.
Right. And then he
That's all
goes
I
from
get.
that to fucking psychotic kid murderer in one movie. Like it's just too much. What I would have done, again, I love your change. I think that's an amazing change. I still hold on to that. I don't think we need kid Anakin at all. So when you meet him in episode 1, have him be Padme's age, age appropriate, a little bit older. Then I think the pod racing scene can be a little bit more adult. I know they were trying to gear towards kids. That's why you have the kid. I get it. I understand why they did it. But
Yeah.
then I think their romance feels a little bit less icky because their romance always, at least at first, felt a little icky to me because he's like, I don't know what, 10, 9 when she meets him.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be what, 16, 17. So I mean, there's a pretty
I would assume. Well, in the first movie, Anakin's what 8, 9.
I would say 8 or 9.
She's probably 13, 14.
You think?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay.
So he's already batting out of his age range.
I definitely think you age him up. Age him up again. Let Hayden Christensen play that fucking character for 3 movies. Give us more time with him. Give him a little. Not that he knocked it out of the park, but I mean Jake Lloyd didn't either. So give him another chance. I think it would have been an improvement. I didn't really like Kid Anakin at all.
Again, I don't think he did horribly. I just felt like
bad writing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what really stunts a lot of people liking the prequels is the writing.
Yeah.
Because the conversations they have aren't conversations that feel human.
No, not like what you're watching right now. We're not robots. We like sand.
Anakin, what do you mean?
AJ, how you feel?
Depressed after I found out Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away today. But
man, R.I.P. guys. I almost asked you if you wanted to change tonight to just a free-for-all wrestling talk, but I know that's not really my forte, and it would be a disrespect to take your time. You should do something like that with Ryan and
we
TJ.
We did last night on the Nerds pages, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Go check it out. We had about a 20-minute memoriam to remember Bray Wyatt and also Terry Funk, who passed on Wednesday.
Bam. There you go. So go check that out on Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. But yeah, anyway, R.I.P. Bray Wyatt. Tragedy, because I know people were excited about getting him back in whatever capacity it was, wherever he was going to go.
But
so
let's get back into Star Wars because, dude, we got to talk about it because as much as I like the original trilogy and as much as I like the Disney trilogy, I think some of the best lightsaber fights are within this prequel trilogy.
I would agree. I think the best 2 are in this Original trilogy.
Oh, I know of one of yours. What's the other one?
Well, Duel of the Fates.
If
You don't like Duel?
no. I like Duel. I just wouldn't think it's top tier.
Bro, that is top tier. Like I would say
Outside
I
of
would
the
I would
outside of the
say
song playing
no,
while they're
bro.
doing it.
Bro, the sequence after Qui-Gon dies and Obi-Wan is released from his barrier, that like
Mm.
15 20 seconds is the best 20 seconds of lightsaber battle ever because those two dudes, you can feel they're not swinging wiffle ball bats. You know, it feels like he's
So you
trying to
want to know
hurt him.
what stops me from liking it more?
Qui
Is them cutting
Qui-Gon
back to
Jinn.
Anakin.
Yes, 100%, 100%. I hate the dut, 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 dut. I don't like that at all. I don't like it
And
because they're also telling the Padme thing too. So they're actually jumping between three stories, and
yeah, and
it's
I feel like
it's
that takes away from the lightsaber fight. If they would have just not one shot the fight, but you
yeah
know what I mean,
yeah
just stayed with
more
that,
focused, way more
I
focused.
probably would have liked it better.
I will give you
Um,
that, and that would be enough to me understand knocking it to like two or three. Is it? It's not even in your top three,
no, it's in my top five.
but not your top three. Damn, I need to know which four you have ahead of it because obviously the one in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin and Obi-Wan, or Anakin or
Yeah,
Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, is probably your number one.
my favorite, and you're gonna laugh at me. My favorite growing up was General Grievous because he was literally lightsaber, and he was
Yeah,
just like helicopter wheeling, just going freaking crazy.
yeah,
I thought he was the coolest shit in the world. So
yeah.
when I
See,
actually saw that,
I hate that one. I hate that
I
fight.
hate how it ends.
I hate how it needed. He's like, hey, I have four arms. Oh shit, I only have two. It took, I think, 8 seconds, 8 or 9 seconds for Obi-Wan to cut two of his arms off. And then,
It
unfortunately,
it
after that
was cooler
little,
in the Clone Wars.
yes. Again, another thing I completely agree with you on. Their best fight was in the Clone Wars, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I agree with you there. I like pretty much any fight that Dooku is involved in. I'm a big fan
He
of
his
even his shitty
his
fights.
Dooku, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Yoda.
Yeah.
That is number 3.
Okay.
Mostly because it's Dooku.
Yeah.
And my number 2 is another Dooku one. Unfortunately, he has his head roll at the end of it.
Yeah, that's actually my third. That's my three.
And
My first one's Duel of the Fates. I think Duel of the Fates is as good as it gets. The Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, Anakin fight at the end of Revenge is my number 2. And then yeah, the second encounter between Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan is my 3. I love that fight. It's
yeah,
fast, but it's vicious.
it's very vicious. And there's a portion of that where I was like, "Oh, they're gonna kill Obi-Wan. They're
Yeah.
gonna they're gonna leave Obi-Wan to die."
Yeah.
And then Anakin being, I guess, in the middle of everything. I have to save my master.
Yeah, and again, there you go. Proven back to the point. Like in that very same movie, the dude is willing to die to save Obi-Wan Kenobi, his brother, and then it just feels too quick, too quick.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
that's my top 5, and my number 1 lightsaber fight is Mustafar.
yeah,
It's so good. Anakin
yeah.
slash Vader versus Obi-Wan. It
I
is memeable beyond belief, but I don't care. You feel the emotion from both
yeah, for sure.
actors, Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
You feel the power that they're pushing out
I
there.
mean, it's two
And,
Jedi, two prime Jedi against each other. Like,
and for anybody who doesn't know, the best villain is the villain that think he's doing the right thing.
yeah,
It's exactly what Anakin Skywalker is doing.
yeah. You're wrong, but you think you're right. That makes you dangerous.
Yeah, makes you very dangerous. But that
The,
by far is my favorite lightsaber
the
fight.
last two in my top 5 because I'm going in reverse order. 4 is actually Mace Windu and Palpatine. I like that whole exchange real quick, just because Palpatine reveals himself, slays 3 Jedi, and then I think they have a pretty cool back and forth. And then I'm gonna have a wild card at my number 5. It's actually Darth Maul and Qui-Gon's quick little battle at Tatooine. I like that because again, it's the first fight in the prequels. It's our first introduction to the way the lightsaber battles are gonna be. It was quick. Darth Maul doesn't even extend his other blade, so we don't even get that reveal yet. I like that fight. It's quick. It's quick.
See, my issue with the Palpatine Mace Windu versus the other Jedi is he immediately takes out three Jedi within a second. While you can attest that to Palpatine being strong and good with the dark side of the Force, I call that being lazy.
I mean, it could be lazy writing.
Because while I feel like they still should have died, I felt like there should have been a moment, whether it's 5 or 10 seconds, where they're ganging up on Palpatine and actually doing something to the point where then Palpatine does something, and then it's just him and Windu.
It looked like they were trying to make him look so overpowered. So
Yeah,
that
but then it gets campy, that overpowered.
it's, I mean, yeah, you're not. I would agree. I would have loved to have seen 20, 30, 40 seconds of most of those guys fighting one another while he slowly whittled them down, but
yeah,
it just wasn't in the cards. Now,
because I feel like that makes Palpatine even stronger if you do that that way.
Sure. What shows his endurance, it shows his ability to like withstand an onslaught rather than arguably getting a couple of really lucky shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then. Did he let Mace Windu win?
On purpose? Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
He knew exactly what Anakin was going to do.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we were going to agree on that or not because I hear people all the time say, "Well, Mace is like one of the best duelists ever." I'm like, yeah, but I think Palpatine.
He's not a Sith Lord.
I don't think Palpatine was giving him his full power. Obviously, we didn't see it there at the beginning. Yeah, I think he set that whole thing up and knew what was going to happen. So
yeah, I feel like everything. I feel like everything Palpatine put in motion, he already knew the outcome.
He's got Joker level prep.
Oh God, we're talking about that again.
Come on, man. Come on. So I love it. I love it. Man. Geez. Goodness gracious. We've made it this long. We haven't even talked about Vader's iconic no at the end of episode. Yeah. You want to talk about campy? Not only that, but Padme dies of a broken heart. Or do you think that Sidious was sucking her life force away? I heard somebody say that, like Sidious was actually using her life force to keep Anakin alive in that moment, and that's why she died.
I think she actually died because she lost the will to live. Like it was gone. The love of her life decided to kill a bunch of kids. She's about to have kids, and now he's on the dark side. So I just,
you got your kids. How's that not enough to live for? I mean, it seemed really ironic as she's giving birth to twins to be like, oh,
like she's about to tell Obi-Wan that she still feels like there's good inside Anakin.
Right. So why would you give up? Why would you give up if you believe that, if you truly believe that?
Because maybe they need her dead for 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, yeah. Shit. What's that called again?
MacGuffin.
Lazy. That's right.
Lazy writing.
Lazy.
But I noticed something, and this is the first time I've noticed it, and I feel really shitty about saying this because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. When Emperor Palpatine tells Vader that Padme dies and he gets out of the restraints and doesn't know.
Yeah.
Did you see Emperor Palpatine's face?
He was kind of like...
He's smiling like a freaking...
Yeah. So he's like, yeah.
I've got you now.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. Oh my God. That was literally like the cherry. Like he was swirling the whipped cream. And then he's just like,
what do you mean she died? Yes.
I'm afraid in your anger you killed her. Good. Yeah.
See, there is a video on YouTube, and I gotta send it to you, and maybe I'll put it in the comment sections. It's what if Anakin Skywalker stayed in the council chamber when he was told to by Mace?
That's interesting. I have one for you too. What if Yoda had went to get Anakin and Obi-Wan had went to face Sidious? What if they flipped?
I think Obi-Wan might die.
Obi-Wan probably dies, but don't you think Yoda is able to stop Anakin? Like, not stop him, like, but like talk him down, you know?
He's been able to do. Yoda did do it a couple
Yeah.
times within the first couple
Yeah.
movies.
Don't you think that
That
if it's not Obi-Wan that shows up, maybe we don't have Darth Vader and then those two together can go stop Sidious?
shit.
But I think Obi-Wan dies. I 100% agree. I think Obi-Wan gets fucking wrecked. And I know that that's weird because Obi-Wan beats Anakin, but I think against Sidious, mano a mano, it doesn't get to the chamber like it does, and I think
I
Obi-Wan
also
fucking
think
dies.
at that point, I think Obi-Wan was very much, and the Jedi aren't supposed to do this, underestimating the power that Emperor Palpatine could have,
Yeah, for sure.
or Darth Sidious.
Yeah, he was obviously very good at hiding that power, or they would have found him
Yeah.
a long time ago. So he could have pulled a freaking Dragon Ball Z and just hit his full power, and then when Obi-Wan thinks
It's
he
over
has him,
9,000.
they say, "Oh my god!" Anyway, so yeah, I do think that if you switch those people, Obi-Wan bites it, Yoda probably saves the galaxy.
And might even save Anakin.
Possibly. It's
Oh,
interesting.
I don't know about saving Anakin. He's still gonna have to pay for everything he did at the temple.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But by helping kill Sidious could be the first way to make amends. Maybe not fully, but you're never going to live that down. I mean, killing kids, and it's on tape. Like, it's not even going to be like, hey, that's some shit happened. I don't know. I know. No, it's like literally there it is. So, yeah, it's tough. That's tough. So, anything else you want to talk about, homie? I mean, I feel like we covered most of it. We didn't bring up pod racing at all.
I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't hate it. I thought it lasted too long.
Did you ever play the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better than...
I love the game. I loved playing the game.
What about
not a huge fan of watching it?
What about the arcade? We actually had the like two little paddles you could use. Did you ever get to do that? That was badass because
I remember playing it on the PlayStation.
You know how he drives the pod with like the two. There was an arcade version, a port of the Pod Racer game, and you had two little like shifter paddles.
Oh shit!
It's badass, bro. So much fun. But so I guess, are we all done, Beer Bud?
Yeah, I'm excited to start talking about A New Hope.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
And Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, so we covered, again, not the shitty Star Wars by any means anymore, but the oft forgotten, the definitely not as loved, universally acclaimed, we'll say, as what we're about to cover next week. But join us next week. Next Friday, we will be releasing the original trilogy, and I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked about it. I think
this is going to be a long episode.
We'll have even livelier conversations because now we have some iconic characters, some iconic moments to talk about. I know I'm going to come ready to duke it out, and I know you will too. So, AJ, thank you so much, my friend. As always, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to talk about the original trilogy. It's going to be so much fun. I have so much to say about it.
All right, y'all. This has been Two Nerds, One Podcast. Tuning out, man. Catch y'all later.